is a paid program. JJ Publicidad, EMR, and its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guest.
Are you looking for awareness, motivation, inspiration, or just some feel-good talk radio? If so, you've come to the right place. Dr. Nancy knows how to do just that. With her extensive experience and knowledge, she is dedicated to providing care, health, and wellness information and education to the greater Phoenix metropolitan area and beyond. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Dr. Nancy knows. Starts now.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in for Dr. Nancy Knows. It's a wonderful time in my life, and this month of October is a wonderful month. It's a time for harvest and, bringing in your harvest and becoming the best you that you can be. And I'm so grateful and honored to be able to have a larger voice and give you all of the knowledge and understanding that has been instilled in me, and I just want to give it right back to all of you all. And thank you for joining me today. I do want to let you know I'm Dr. Nancy Gaines Dillard, and I want to give you an idea of what the show is all about and how it's touched me and inspired me to do what I've done over the years of experience that I've had and just different people that I've come in contact with that has forever impacted me. The knowledge that I have, it's just wasteful for me to just keep it to myself, and I'd like to impart that in a palatable way that's easy to understand and that it come across in a genuine manner. All right, so here we go. And welcome. I'm very excited for drnancyknows.com, and the structure of the show is going to be as such. Typically, we will have a guest, expert guest weekly. We will actually also have a guest celebrity monthly, and then we will have an empowerment moment, and it is real life situation, real live people that can relate to the topics that we impart on you on a continuous basis every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Who is Dr. Nancy? People would really want to know, and I actually can't tell the story as well. So I have brought in a really great friend of mine, a sister in Christ. Her name is Gloria Guerrara. And just to tell you a little bit about her to help me tell my story, this phenomenal woman of faith has come into my life as no coincidences. And many people who do know me know that destiny is a very important part in one's life, particularly mine and my walk and my faith, and my energy that I project is positive, and whatever you project in the universe, it comes back to you. And I have been blessed and honored to have Gloria Guerrara in my life. We met about 3 years ago, Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we were looking for a platform where we could give back and be humble servants, individuals that educate and bring awareness to the community. And we connected instantly. Now our paths, didn't exactly stay connected throughout the years, but periodically we would see one another. And I got this great opportunity to be a host of my own show, and we connected, and we're back together. And she said, let me introduce you and tell people who you are and tell your story. And with her years of experience, 25 years in the industry, she has a Bachelor of Science in media, multimedia communications and public relations. She also has a master's in international business. She has helped start over 100 businesses in the United States. And she actually is a giver of the community. She's a pioneer, a leader, an expert in finance, business, and consulting, special needs, and insurance services as well. She was actually, her business was the first owned Hispanic bilingual insurance company to service the community in Phoenix, Arizona. And so, you know, she grew up in Mexico and has a beautiful son and is a beautiful wife and mother. And she was initially a kindergarten student, a kindergarten teacher, and at the same time, she also was a multimedia director of marketing for a well-known pharmaceutical company as well. And so, without further ado, I'd love for you to be introduced to Gloria Carrara, who's going to help me tell my story. Gloria.
Oh, okay. Hello, Dr. Nancy. Well, thank you very much. That was a very nice introduction. I'm like blessed and honored to be here with you. And well, also I'm excited about the different moments that you are going to have in your program, but also about we're going to have like a contest moment, right?
Yeah.
And what are we raffling today? What are we going to give away today?
We are raffling a free consultation valued at $250 with me. So it will include a health screening examination and some one-on-one time with me to get to know you, to best help discover what it is that you need to improve your overall health and wellness.
Oh, great. So stay tuned so that you know what there's going to be questions or answers after the segment. We're going to give you some tips. So pay attention, please. That way we can you can be the contest winner at the end of the program. Also, remember we are in all the platforms. We are in Facebook. We are in YouTube, entremujeres.com. And also we are very excited because this is the first platform that Emotion Radio is launching. So today it's also a very important date here for the station, and we're very happy for them because Entre Mujeres opened probably just in the Latin community about 4 years ago, and now it's in the English market. So this is a great opportunity that is really needed. So I'm excited for Veronica, Javier, and Juliana Acosta and Daniela Acosta, because this is their platform, and we hope all the best for you. So, well, let's see. I know doctors have a lot of knowledge, so let's start right from the get-go. Tell me, doctor, where are you from? Who's Dr. Nancy? Who's Nancy Dillard?
Nancy Gaines Dillard. I grew up many years ago in Florida, and my family moved more north. And I'm from just outside of Philadelphia, and I have a strong family network, and we all love to give of ourselves and give back to one another. And I believe that is part of my matrix, and it's important to have strong values, and they ultimately come from your leaders in your life. Such as close family members, my mothers, my brothers, my aunts, have been all very instrumental in my coming to being of who I am, as well as my high school guidance counselors and teachers as well.
So if we go back in time, like in a time machine, who was Nancy as a little girl? Was she rich and famous like now?
Oh, no. I actually came from very humble beginnings, and I do know what hard work means. Hard work means it pays off in the end. And there is, there's a promised land out there for individuals that are viewed as maybe perhaps the underdog. And I can say that, yes, I could have been a statistic, but
you always went. That's great. A lot of the times the underdogs put all those whys and inspirational people. I see you're getting emotional here. So tell me, Nancy, has Nancy been in pain? Has Nancy been suffered? And Nancy, the woman, something that you want to share with the audience so that anybody can make their dreams come true in this promised land?
Absolutely. I say that I was the underdog because I truly was, and I've seen my family work very hard, and I, in turn, worked very hard because good things come to good people that have really good hearts. And, you know, you have to give in order to receive. And that's all I've seen in my life, and all of my leaders and mentors and family members that poured into me as an example of what I saw as a product of who I am.
Did you always wanted to be a doctor?
No, not actually. I was going to actually go into the Air Force. And at the time, my stepfather said, no, let's take you down to the local college here, university. And I got a scholarship. And I didn't look back. And my initial major was public relations. I thought that I would be a wonderful newscaster. Imagine that. And when I got started in that pathway, 2 years to be exact, I didn't feel like I was cut out for it. And it was my mother who said, change your trajectory. You have this incredible gift of caring and giving, you know, channel that into the medical field. And it was from that point on, I went on to be the medical provider that I am today. I didn't stop. I will be an eternal learner. I have multiple degrees, and I'm gifted to, you know, have been given the opportunity to get this knowledge, and it would be remiss of me to keep it all to myself. So I pour back in to individuals. I dispel any of the confusion and fear that may be related to a doctor. I want to let you know that I'm here to break down all of those barriers. And come seek out your healthcare professionals, me, so that I can help you understand and get to know you so that you can have better life and live your best life now.
What did you study, doctor? You know, because here in the United States, which, by the way, we're transmitting directly from Phoenix, Arizona, but you can watch this worldwide. So it's like the premiere for Emotion Radio, the premiere for Dr. Nancy Knows. But here, well, you need to have a license. And so what are your credentials? What did you study?
I did. I'm licensed in about 14 states now, and I started with my bachelor's of science in nursing initially, and I got 2 masters after that. I'm family board certified, and I have my doctorate as well. I'm authored, and I did my dissertation on telemedicine and how important that can be, particularly in rural cities and or where access can be limited. And, you know, with the state of affairs currently now, essential personnel I am, and I'm able to continue to deliver care remotely without skipping a beat and or denying or disabling access to providers or patients that need providers.
What are the principles that you live with?
Wow, so there's many principles, but I give all of my honor to my God, because without that I have nothing. And so there are many, many things. Be the change you wish to see in the world, and it only starts, and it takes one, right? Dream until your dreams come true. There's nothing impossible. The rate limiting step is you. Discount fear. Step out, one foot and step in front of the other. There are individuals that are waiting for you to walk in your destiny so that they can get blessed. And there's others that are going to be gifts that are going to be critical to your success along your journey.
Oh, it's awesome. I concur on that, because faith is like we're alive every day. and every night or early mornings, right? After 12 o'clock that we go to bed. Tell me, why Arizona? You mentioned that you have grown up in Florida. You had your all your master's and doctorate degrees in Philadelphia. So when and why did you move to Arizona?
I moved almost 4 years ago this coming November 22nd. And I knew that I was called to do something else. I've been practicing medicine for 24 years. I was well established in the East Coast, very resourceful. I've taught in the medical field, and students reach out to me all the time to be as a resource and or to precept and educate. And one would think, well, why would you uproot and move 3,000 miles across the country?
Exactly.
I have no idea, but I just knew I needed to do it. And again, I want to tell you, it's that gut instinct. It's that small, still voice. And if it tells you to move, you should move. And I've learned to cultivate that small, still voice and learn to listen. And I was told to go and not to worry. And I've been blessed ever since. There's so many great things that have happened, and I'm so grateful to be in front of you, to tell my story, and to impart knowledge that's easy to understand through expert guests, celebrities, and individuals like Gloria Guerrera, who is going to be my co-host as well on every show. We're going to have empowerment moments that is going to be available to you to answer questions. So that's another thing, guys. Facebook, we are taking questions. If there's anything that you may want to see or you have a question about, we are here for you to answer those questions as well. And we're taking our show on the road. So it's not just going to be one thing. It's not always about medicine. We're going to talk about families, health and wellness, business, legal counsel, insurance, everyday things that individuals can use.
Okay, no, that's very, very interesting. Just, wow, 25 years of experience. So you started at 10, I guess, right? Okay, well, here are some words for the contest. If you are listening, it's important. Mention 3 of the segments of the show and how the Dr. Nancy it's going to be. And also share this with 10 new friends. So the person that shares with 10 new friends, and the first question is like, what are the 3 segments, or mention 3 segments of the Dr. Nancy shows? And, okay, stop. Don't move. Remember, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but who she knows, and we'll see you after a brief pause.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next, because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello everybody, my name is Jalen Despain. I am with Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, the Director of First Impressions, as well as a licensed esthetician. Today I just wanted to come on and tell you guys a little bit about our holiday special we're having. It is the Hydro Jelly Treats. So the first one, I'm just going to show you a little bit. This is the Egyptian Rose. It's great for hydration, but also our mature folks. So if we want to kind of help define lines, this would definitely be a great result. We also have the 3D mask that we're going to be using with these that just helps penetrate the products into the skin very well and more. This one is the antioxidants. This is for rejuvenating and radiance of the skin. It also helps with free radical damage. This is the Spot Blemishing ALA. This is good for hyperpigmentation as well as just evening the skin tone overall. And lastly, this is our hyaluronic acid. This one is very good, super great for hydration as well as a plump to the skin. So this is definitely going to go deep within all skin layers and help hydrate it all.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
Hello, and we are back. So we're going to continue with Gloria Guerrara. Yes, getting to know me and our special celebrity guest as well.
Okay, well, this is a celebrity moment, and on the celebrity moment, we know that Dr. Nancy is already a celebrity, right? Because she has her own radio show. Unbelievable, right?
It's
in different
unbelievable.
states. At least, for example, I'm from Mexico. To have a radio show, it's like, wow. So get used to the celebrity moment, get used to the makeup and all that stuff, and get up early. So we'd start at 9. Well, in this celebrity moment, I'm honored and to be here. And we have like a godfather of the program. His name is Nick Lowery, and he transcends stereotypes.
And he looks very old in that bust there.
Well, he's, let me tell you, so that you know, for those that are seeing us from different parts of the world, okay, he's a Hall of Fame athlete, an Ivy League scholar, 3-time president, 8, author, poet, teacher, philanthropist. He has been featuring ABC, World News, Nightline, with David Letterman, HBO. But one of the things is he's very competitive. So he's the first professional athlete to graduate from Harvard.
Woohoo!
Nick is the only American athlete who worked for both Presidents George Bush and President Bill Clinton in the White House of National Service. He was inducted into the Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame in 2009 as the most accurate kicker in NFL history, with the most field goals in NFL history, and all-time leader scorer. It says 58 yards, but he says it's 59 yards. When he retired from the NFL, Nick founded Champions for the Homeless 14 years ago, supporting St. Vincent de Paul, comprising 50 super events, bringing a human face to the homeless in Phoenix. He's featured in the recent movie Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy. And finally, Nick is the national spokesman and sports director for Canaway. And one of the things is he was nominated also in 2020 for the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Woohoo!
He was very, very kind to invite us to his house and talk about his story, because we wanted to make sure that we have a winner here. And for example, in 2019, he was CNBC stock draft winner, beating last year's winner Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary by 40%.
Very satisfying.
Yes, and he got the Toya Award. Toya Award, he can, it's unique. It's no longer given to the people. Of 10 outstanding Young American Awards, also won by Elvis and JFK. And I had the opportunity to see his Community Service Award from United Cerebral Palsy. I participated with, my son participated with him for his work with at-risk and disabled youth. So currently he's the spokesperson on CBD Canaway, and we're going to just welcome Nick. Give him a hand, please.
Yay. By the way, because there are some professional athletes who went to Harvard, I'm the first to graduate from the Harvard University Kennedy School of Government, which is a great honor. I just want to make sure I'm not making claims that aren't accurate. But yeah, very honored to go to Harvard too, and Dartmouth.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No, that's awesome. Well, you have mentioned two people so that people know. Who are Hazel and Sydney?
Well, Hazel and Sydney, first of all, the original Hazel and Sydney, my father was in the first group of Fulbright scholars after World War II, and my mother, Hazel, who grew up in Cairo, Egypt, was in the first full class of women at Oxford, and she helped run the Fulbright Scholars Program, and they met and were married in London, and luckily for me, they had me in 2 sets of twins. So those are the amazing parents that I had that were devoted. My father ended up being chief of station for the CIA in London when I was 9, 10, 11, and there you are. And I didn't know that till he died 12 years ago. That's how cool he was. I knew he was in the CIA, but I did not know that he was the chief of station. So if you ever watch James Bond, there's an M figure who James Bond reports to. My father was the American M who met with the M every single week because they work with MI5 and MI6.
Wow.
But that was when the CIA was truly about the lessons from World War II. And we all know now that the intelligence gathered in World War II is probably how we were able to win World War II.
So where were you born?
So I was born in Munich, Germany, because my father was working for the CIA back then. My father was really a scholar. He wasn't a cloak and dagger person, but he was an expert on Russia and Eastern Europe. Then the other Sydney and Hazel are my two kittens. And anybody that's missing, especially during COVID, that's missing that unconditional love because you're cooped up so much, adopting or fostering a pet is a beautiful thing to do. And I did that through Fearless Kitty, which is a great organization. And I've never seen cats play so much, but it's been a great addition to my life. So thanks for asking.
Oh, no, I knew those two names were important. So, okay. Nick, in 2 minutes, tell us, what are the ups and downs of fame?
Well, I think whether it's Hollywood, whether it's music in Nashville or all over the country, whether it's in professional sports, our culture tends to set up this beautiful rising shooting star. Unfortunately, there's also a shooting star that's going downward almost quite as quickly. And if you add to it social media, it's so easy to go from someone who is perceived and projected as being perfect to someone who somehow now is the epitome of imperfection and faults, etc. And as Nancy very beautifully evoked before, it's not like she knew all the things she knows now from being perfect. It was from making mistakes. It was from all of us diving into life, trying things, some that work, some that don't, and then striving and persisting through lots of pain and disappointment to finding spiritual strength and a purpose that's much bigger than us.
So that you mentioned, thank you. At any moment in your life, have you experienced pain?
Oh, well, losing my parents, absolutely. Leaving Kansas City after 14 years was very, very hard. Dug into that community in Kansas City. I've been now here full-time in Phoenix for almost 20 years. But I love Kansas City, world champions.
World champions, woo!
And I still go there too. But and it's growing too. So it's interesting. Kansas City is growing. That is a picture actually right here with the Buckeye High School Girls Conference. And it's one of the great things I get to do every week is talk with people. Sometimes, as Nancy talked about, it may be just one person. It may be yourself. It may be somebody in your family, but helping one person every day rather than thinking I have to be a hero in that Hollywood sense. The hero is just every day bringing out our best and bringing our knowledge, wisdom, including especially the humanity of making mistakes and getting back up.
No, absolutely. That's the only way to learn, right?
That's it.
In 3 minutes, you mentioned that you missed Kansas City. And, every athlete has like a different stages or different cycles. So when you were there, the kicker, the Hall of Fame, Nick, the kick. The kicker. Tell us, how does it feel to have a performance under pressure when it's like in your feet, in your play, you have the winning game?
Yeah. Well, not everybody's built for that, but I think everybody can find their moments of truth where they can bring about great change for themselves and first, always, and then for others. It's sort of like the oxygen mask that comes down on the airplane. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself first, learn the lesson first, otherwise your authenticity is really not legitimate. But the pressure, I always felt this wonderful challenge as a kicker, which is a physical challenge of putting the ball through, but it's also as much and more under pressure in front of 80,000 people and sometimes 40 million people. I mean, 40 million people is 8 times every single person in Phoenix, right? Yes. And being able to not worry about that, but to focus right here on your work. And that's something I'd love to share, is that what it happened for me, almost like a doctor that's operating. If the doctor worries about the pressure, life and death, instead of worrying about his or her hands, the people that she depends on, certainly, but the focus on that patient. My patient was the football and controlling that small circle between the football and me. And if I took care of that, 80,000 people screaming obscenities at me, wind, rain, very, very icy cold weather, none of that would matter. And that's how I went from being good to being the most accurate kicker in NFL history. And it wasn't because I didn't miss field goals, but I got better. And it's a great motivator. Under pressure, to avoid those mistakes, it's a great motivator to work even harder and work more intelligently. So,
But I like how you put it together. Like it's a surgical moment.
It is.
It doesn't matter what's around. It's a
Yeah.
surgical moment.
Yeah.
So, what motivated a professional? There's a lot of athletes that they play football and then they leave and then they disappear and we don't know about them. So, what motivated a professional? You're famous. You are a rich athlete.
I don't know about rich, but thank you. Rich here.
Rich here. To pursue humanitarian activities. What motivated you to do that?
I've always wanted to do that. Now I'm going to get emotional. I had mentors for me. One was Dick Johnson, who almost died 6 weeks before he started mentoring me as a kicking coach back as my junior year in high school. And he said, I wouldn't be here except that on my deathbed 6 weeks ago, this 12-year-old kid appeared to me and said, Dick, you stood up for me in high school, or in junior high, when no one else would. And you saved my life. And so I'm here to save your life. You're not going to die. And so it was always from him, the idea that God was always in the room, that purpose was always in the room. Always there. And then so when I was rejected by 8 NFL teams, rejected, told I wasn't good enough, sent home 11 times, he helped, and my coach Gary Gardner, all these mentors, you look back at the little angels and bigger angels in your life who said, just get back up, get back up. And so I literally, Gloria, had given up after 2 years and all those rejections, and I took a job with the United States Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. Great job. I was the only non-attorney besides Christine Wilkes. And I got one last call from the Kansas City Chiefs. And for all of you that are thinking, do I give up? Is it time to go in a different direction? These paths. And I said to the general manager, thank you, but, I'm going to take this job in the Senate. Great job. And I hung up. And that's that little voice that Nancy talked about that came to me, not very little at all, shouting at me, you idiot, idiota. And I've had to find him. I didn't know how to spell his name. I didn't have his phone number. This was 1980. There were no cell phones, no internet. And I found him in his hospital room, having had back surgery at Research Hospital. They flew me into a snowy Kansas City, gave me a $2,500 bonus, which today would be considered, that would be considered nothing. But it was just the little sign I should try one more time. Right. And then I had to go against the greatest kicker in the history of the game, who became the first kicker in the Hall of Fame, my idol. So think about that. If Nancy's going against Dr. Oz or whoever is the greatest doctor that you look up to, there are many great doctors that have helped transform this world. We need it right now, by the way. Anyway, I just kept going, and that's a great lesson. So I found him, and I ended up playing 18 years in the NFL and beating out that great kicker who hated me for a while, and then he became great friends with me and with my father. And it's amazing how it comes full circle.
It is.
Similar, like Dr. Nancy mentioning underdog. Well, you were the underdog, and you just keep going until you say no more. And then that little voice, that God signal that says, okay, this is your time. Otherwise, you will never know what it will happen.
Yeah.
And you became the best.
Well, thank you. But the other part of it was I realized that there was still something missing. I could do something with this stage, just like Nancy's talking about with her show. Mm-hmm. And so I started Kick with Nick for cerebral palsy, which won the national award you just mentioned. And that was such a blessing because it helped me. And it's egotistical, narcissistic. That's probably the same word in Spanish, right?
Yes. Narcisista, yes.
Yeah. To remember how blessed we are to remember, here's a young person perhaps that can't even tie their shoe.
Correct.
They learn to tie their shoe today, and that's a big victory for them. And to not let all the blessings be blinded or forgotten that we have in the midst of the little things that don't go right in life. And so that's really how it started, and it just feeds on itself. And the law of attraction is always about that. It feeds off itself. That little voice becomes easier to hear. The people, the angels that are good for you come into your life. You notice the ones that maybe should be a little bit further away from you in your life, and you begin to be more consistent and purposeful, and that's where the joys of life happen. And that's it, really. The joys of life every day.
Absolutely. When you were there, at the fashion show and UCP receiving this award, which was, about 9 years ago, all the kids with special needs, they're in the fashion show. They were seeing to you, they wanted to have pictures, and you were there. You were there, you changed their lives. When someone is like, I was with this celebrity, even my son was like so happy because you are just there to help, to motivate them. And they are great teachers because they don't give up.
Yes.
They have the will and the drive to strive better
Yes.
than others that
Yes.
we don't have any limitations.
Yes, they have. They are actually wiser than us often
Yes.
because they've been. Sorry, I get emotional a lot, but they have been overcomers every moment of their life from birth. My aunt had cerebral palsy, and she learned to play the piano despite having spasticization and walking, and she got her college degree. She became a professional writer, and at the age of 80, she became Utah Citizen of the Year. So I looked at her as this great, example of never giving up and being an overcomer.
Do you have tissue?
No, and I understand when you mention, it moved me when you mentioned about the tying the shoes. It took my son 5 years to tie his shoes, and I never give up. When he was diagnosed, they told me, sorry, he will not be able to walk or talk or anything, so good luck. And I said, well, who says that? It's like science. It's like science
Thank you.
can change. It's up to God. And I just fight and work and work and work. And it's the special needs community. I love it. I love it. It's my passion, and I like to help them. And well, tell us about your recent work with Dr. Nancy in St. Vincent de Paul. What did you do together?
Well, it was St. Vincent de Paul. It was with veterans. Nancy came to me, and I instantly thought, this is such good timing with COVID. All of the misinformation, all of the fear, all of the good information, let's do something with that. And so we helped make Phoenix the first city in the country to intentionally reach out to the homeless and test them for COVID with rapid antibody tests that Nancy oversaw. And it was such a blessing, and we helped, I think, accelerate the testing. There was almost, you might remember, there was almost no testing in April and even May. And we were able to do 2 testings at St. Vincent de Paul. The first with the disabled and elderly homeless, who were the most vulnerable. And then we did with the on the street homeless and their staff. And we had 0 homeless test positive. In the end, we had 1 staff a week later test positive, 1 out of 200. And then we started to do those tests with the mayor of Glendale, and we're right here in Glendale. Jerry Wires, we love you. Lisa Nico, we love you. And, I think in the midst of adversity, you turn it around, you stay creative, and you turn it into something that makes things better. That's where you channel your energy rather than, I'm shut home, I can't go out much, I have very limitations because of my health or wanting to protect my family, but there's still something you can do that channels it into something productive, and that's what we did.
We brought awareness not only just locally here in the state of Arizona, but nationally. So all of the local television networks picked our story up. We did about 6 events together, Nick and I did, and we were also on national.
We were on nationally with my friend Harris Faulkner, who has Outnumbered show on Fox News. And, I think, once again, society chooses its values by the stories it tells. Today we're telling stories, and those stories evoke what we value. And so by getting it out there, I think in some small way we accentuated a human face on the homeless. Don't forget about the homeless in the midst of this. And I think maybe by showing actually that we didn't have that much to worry about. We're being responsible. Look at this beautiful, responsible shield here. Frankly, I didn't expect that. I think those are little things that still keep us responsible, but also moving forward in life.
That's
okay,
right.
very good. How are we doing on time? Okay, well, they already told me to stop.
Yeah.
So remember, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, it's what she knows, and we will come back after a brief pause.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello everybody, my name is Jalen Despain. I am with Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, the Director of First Impressions, as well as a licensed esthetician. Today I just wanted to come on and tell you guys a little bit about our holiday special we're having. It is the Hydro Jelly Treats. So the first one, I'm just going to show you a little bit. This is the Egyptian rose. It's great for hydration, but also our mature folks. So if we want to kind of help define lines, this would definitely be a great result. We also have the 3D mask that we're going to be using with these that just helps penetrate the products into the skin very well and more. This one is the antioxidants. This is for rejuvenating and radiance of the skin. It also helps with free radical damage. This is the spot blemishing ALA. This is good for hyperpigmentation as well as just evening the skin tone overall. And lastly, this is our hyaluronic acid. This one is very good, super great for hydration as well as a plump to the skin. So this is definitely going to go deep within all skin layers and help hydrate it all.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
Welcome back to Dr. Nancy Knows, and it's getting to know Dr. Nancy Gaines-Dillard with our special celebrity guest, Nick Lowery, and our co-host mediator, Gloria Guerrara. Gloria?
Thank you, Doctor. Well, you were mentioning just a few minutes ago that you were impressed about these little things.
Yes.
So before asking you your opinion on that, I'm going to ask you, Dr. Nancy, why did you choose bilingual platform here? It's the first English show in the platform. They are launching the platform. Entre Mujeres has been around for about 4 years. Yes,
Yay!
so it's like, why?
Why not? Really, why not? And I joined Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I got nothing but love through that community, and through those resources, I was able to network with other Latinos, Spanish-speaking cultures, and I felt so much love. And, you know, if something feels good and it feels right, you want more of it. And I sought out an opportunity to have a greater voice to bring more awareness, not only to my local community here, but on a national level, internet radio. Grateful, I'm so grateful to be able to do this. If, you know, sometimes you do have to be selfish, make yourself a priority, and know when you have been given God-given talents to actually deliver a message on a larger, impactful basis to a larger audience, you have a voice, you are compelled to do that. I'm compelled to do that. We all live very busy lives, but again, I am a servant, and I lead with love. I have a lot of knowledge. I don't want to keep it to myself. I really want to impart knowledge, again, through celebrities and their good works that they're doing in the community, right down to our expert guest that can shed a light and awareness on many, many different topics that's delivered in a way that's understandable.
No, absolutely. And that's because it's very important. I think right now, when Nick was mentioning, we can do something at home to use these kind of platforms. I invite all the English speaking and Spanish speaking that are bilingual to visit here with Emotion Radio, because right now through these marvelous platforms you can say a lot, tell a lot to the community. Nick, what is your impression of this radio station? Why did you expect it?
Well, my background, like I mentioned, growing up in Washington, D.C., my next door neighbor was a Supreme Court justice who fought on Byron Whizzer White, who happened to lead the National Football League in rushing. That was my next door neighbor. And if you go to the New York Times and put our names in, it'll come up. And I look at that John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy tradition of reaching out and uniting all races and uniting this country. We need that today. And actually today, in this election, will be the first time there are more Hispanics voters, 32 million, and 30 million African Americans. But they both are crucial parts of our culture, and not just our electorate. And why not keep underscoring how we do good things together? That's what it's all about. I've also worked with American Indians. We have a strong Native American community here. My friend Mary Kim Titlow and Unity, United National Indian Tribal Youth, is the best leadership program for Native youth. So all of us coming together, the Asian American culture, why can't we, as you said, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
How do you see the studio is arranged and these little details? What do you think about it?
I think it's very professional. I think we're going to become Dr. Oz. We love you. We're going to be the Dr. Oz of Phoenix, and then Nancy, in her unique way, will carve out her particular unique way of expressing herself and helping people. And what is better at the end of the day is you have, as I would have Sydney and Hazel snuggling with me going to sleep. I did something good today. I helped one person. In fact, I may not even know who that person is, and they will come back to me, which happens. They will come back to me and communicate with me years later and say, something you said helped me. Now, what is better than that? There is nothing better than living life where you have no regrets, because you did everything you could in it with a purpose.
Yes, just like that person from the who offered you the position and say, okay, come and play for Kansas City.
I had to earn it, and then I had to keep earning it. There's the other thing, is there's the one trajectory of making it, but then there's the staying there. And that means when people take you for granted, when you've made it, you keep getting better, you keep pushing yourself, you never take it for granted, you stay humble, healthy, and what's the last one? Humble, healthy, and
Grateful.
Yes,
Grateful.
and hungry.
And hungry. Now, Nick touched on the success. It's not a monetary thing. The success that I feel that the type of individuals that are attracted in my life and that I work with and impact others is what I can do to change their life in a more meaningful way. So, money will come later, but if you lead with your heart, it's always going to take you in the right direction. So yes, bringing people together, multicultural, bilingual, why not? And this is a platform that you should tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
Oh, and now that you mentioned that, Doctor, what moved you to open your own practice instead of continuing working for somebody else?
Yeah, I thought I could do it better. I thought that working for an organization was wonderful. I am very privileged to be in the presence and have these private, intimate moments where individuals share things with me that they wouldn't ordinarily share with individuals. And I thought, after all these years of practicing, I can open up my own business and do it even better and have a more impactful way and a delivery of system, doing it my way, not being on a timetable. When I spend time with clients, we're not on the clock. And that's the difference. It's the quality of care that you get.
That's absolutely true, because sometimes you go to the doctor and it's like it's a 15-minute appointment. With you, it's like, what do you need? So that it's custom, personalized. And it's very important because then you become like a family member to the people. And they say that we always need to have like a doctor, an accountant, and a lawyer, right?
Well, we will have experts on the show doing those very same things. So we will have experts to talk to you about business and finance and life insurance and how prepared are you? Not only just the things that come naturally to me, but the things that have been a little bit challenged for me. And that's another thing. Challenge yourself. Step outside of your comfort zone. Pruning and growing is never easy. You know you're on the right track when people just drop into your life unexpectedly willing to help.
Do you have a formula? What is your formula, Nick, of success? What is your formula of success?
I think formula of success, there's no formula, but having said that, it's always about great focus when you're tired, when you're bored, to stay focused, hard work, and then passion. And then lastly, that passion feeds a purpose that is your unique God-given gifts that you polish your whole life. And when we worked with cerebral palsy, to me, I realized all of us are disabled. That's the journey. We all are disabled. We all have some emotional, spiritual disability if we don't have a physical one. And the journey of life is to learn from that, to learn to transcend that, and then give that lesson to others.
Oh, no, absolutely. We have here on the screen, thank you, Javier, follow one course until successful, so focus. Yeah. Very important. Your formula of success, Dr. Nancy?
Great. You know, there is no book in life on how to live your best life outside of having great mentorship and good leaders in your life and a good faith. That's another thing. Take time out to be present in each other's lives. We live busy lives and everybody has an issue or concerns, but when you have someone's attention, be present. Be there to listen.
No, definitely. Well, in the meantime, we want to say thank you to all the people that make this show happening. The makeup by Maggie Hiron, right? We want to say...
Where's my makeup? I need my makeup too.
No. We are going to also Gary Charlson for being a funder of the program. We appreciate that, Gary. And Gary. This is the premiere worldwide of Dr. Nancy shows, and also, it's a Cancer Awareness Month. Remember, prevention is everything, but there's something special. I don't know if someone can bring the cake, or where is it? Oh, here it is. I haven't even seen it. Okay, because it's a birthday for Dr. Nancy Knows. It's a birthday for Emotion Radio, the first bilingual platform for the Anglo market, and it's also the birthday of Dr. Nancy. So we would like to sing happy birthday. I don't know, can someone, Maria, can you help me with the candles? Maria Kepes, the right hand of Dr. Nancy, bilingual, English, Spanish, do custom blends, right? How many?
And this is a very nutritional cake, right?
Yes.
You know what, it's with love.
Yes.
So we're going to put just one candle, because it's your first birthday.
Yes.
First birthday of Dr. Nancy.
Yes,
Knows.
I'm 1 year old today.
Emotion Radio. And, okay, here. Well, do we sing first? Do we put the candle? What do?
We sing.
We sing. So are we ready? We want to say thank you to Javier Acosta. He's behind, and Julian Acosta. They are behind here, the production, behind all these cameras and make this happen. Thank you, Veronica Acosta, for putting this together. So you have done a wonderful job. So who wants to start singing? Are we singing in Spanish or in English?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. President. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And do you have a little music there in Spanish, since we are like bilingual empowerment moment, like Las Mañanitas, o Feliz Cumpleaños a ti?
Feliz
Cumpleaños a ti, feliz cumpleaños a ti, feliz cumpleaños, Dr. Nancy. Feliz cumpleaños a ti.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, do you want to make a wish? Oh, there's in the background.
I do want to make a wish.
Okay. Okay. And also, the face of the show, I would like to invite Veronica Acosta to just come so people knows who she is here on the Anglo market. So Veronica, I know that you are going to go through the camera. So, here, next to me here, we're just improvising. This is Veronica Acosta. She is like the owner of Emotion Radio and Entre Mujeres Radio. And thank you. I don't know if you want to say some words in Spanish or in English. So,
Some Spanish, some English. Thank you very much, Dr. Nancy. I'm very, very honored, ¿cómo se dice? Tenerte aquí.
you have you here.
Thank you.
Estoy muy, muy contenta porque estamos abriendo una puerta muy grande. Tú con tu conocimiento, con tu sabiduría y nosotros con la plataforma para que lleguemos a más gente. Gracias por la confianza que nos das.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Vero. It's like I remember 4 years ago when you launched you launched it, and well, now yes, this is a new bridge. This is a new door, a new program for a new platform for the Hispano-American, a bilingual market. So just go in and motionradio.com. Also to follow everything about Dr. Nancy, it's drnancyknows.com. And why did you name the program Dr. Nancy Knows?
Well, for those who do know me, I am very sentimental, and excellence by design is a term that was described of me or Nancy as greatness in motion, or health is your wealth, and these different types of quotes. I was in a conversation explaining something to an individual. Recently, Dr. Nancy Knows was born on August the 24th at 10:30 in the morning. It was something that I said, and I said, Dr. Nancy Knows, and I kept on with my sentence, and I was stopped by the individual and said, that's it, Dr. Nancy Knows.
So you knew it was a title for something.
It was going to be a title for something.
Okay. And when is your show, Nick? You also have a show, Canaway.
Thank you for
Which
asking.
days? And
Every
how
Wednesday.
Can people connect you?
Every Wednesday at noon Pacific on the Canaway, Kannawa, Canaway page, Canaway.com. And we will have Eric Dickerson, NFL Hall of Famer, this coming Wednesday at noon. 2 weeks ago, we had Alison Dubois, world-famous psychic and medium, who talked about how the people coming back, looking back at their lives, the dead that she's able to talk to. If you believe in that, I believe she's authentic. The thing they regret the most is worrying too much about what other people think in pursuing your life, and filling your life with so much joy that you bring your own home. Literally, it's there with you in heaven. I like that. I love that.
Oh, no, absolutely. So Eric Dickerson is going to be, if you want to tune in, next Wednesday
at
12.
noon on the Canaway.com.
Canaway.com.
On the Facebook page.
On the Facebook
Thank you.
page. No, thank you. Okay, well,
Our
Doctor,
guest.
What is the guest on the next
week?
Yes, what is the topic on next week?
The topic next week is actually COVID and how impactful it has been on many of our nation's families. And who best else to be able to talk about it than the world-renowned Gwen Snipes Jones. She is a life coach, and she actually will be here to talk about how their adult parents can talk to their children and relate. That's what the topic's going to be about next week.
No, that's great. Well, we will be checking the social media to see if we have any comments and to know who's the winner of the consult. We will be checking that at the end of the program. You know, there's different social media channels between YouTube and Facebook and Dr. Nancy Knows to see who won that consult. And well, I don't know if you have 1 minute to just say a word of wisdom to the audience. Nick, how do you want to say
keep diving into life. Make as many mistakes as you can, because you'll get faster to the genius that God gave you inside you. Don't move out of fear. Let fear go. Make as many mistakes as you can, including maybe learning Spanish or learning English. Don't worry about that, because you'll get faster to mastery of your life.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. And we truly appreciate it to have a celebrity. It's not easy, and to be a humanitarian. Dr. Nancy, words of wisdom?
Yes. Be the change you wish to see in the world and step outside of your comfort zone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Dr. Nancy Knows.
Optimal health requires you to perform at your peak potential. Start today. Be the change you wish to see in the world. This was Dr. Nancy Knows. Thank you for connecting. We're waiting for you on our next broadcast here at EMR, E-Motion Radio.